Every beekeeper knows the comforting hum of a thriving hive, that steady rhythm of life that tells you everything is in balance. But what happens when that sound begins to fade? Across the world, millions of colonies are collapsing, leaving behind empty hives and unanswered questions. This isn't just a threat to honey production, it's a crisis that strikes at the very heart of our ecosystems. Bee colony collapse disorder has become one of the greatest challenges modern beekeeping has ever faced. In this video, we'll uncover the hidden causes behind this global phenomenon, from pesticides and parasites to the deeper environmental pressures affecting our bees. Most importantly, we'll explore what you, as a beekeeper, can do to protect your colonies, strengthen your apiary, and help bring the buzz back to our world. If you're enjoying this video and want to keep learning more about modern beekeeping, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. And if you like to grow together with us, join our community. It's where we share insights, lessons, and real-world beekeeping experiences. You can also support the channel through Revolut or Wise. The QR codes are on the screen, and all the links are in the video description below. Your support helps us keep bringing valuable information to beekeepers like you. Something deeply unsettling has been unfolding inside beehives across the planet. Entire colonies, once thriving with life, suddenly fell silent. That boxes that were buzzing with activity just days before are now nearly empty. No piles of dead bees, no clear signs of disease, just abandonment. Occasionally, the queen's still there, surrounded by brood waiting to hatch, but the workers, the heart and muscle of the colony, are gone. This mysterious and devastating phenomenon has come to be known as colony collapse disorder, or CCD. At its core, CCD is the sudden and unexplained disappearance of worker bees from the hive. Without these essential foragers, the colony's system collapses. The queen can't feed herself. The brood can be cared for. Within days, what was once a complex, living superorganism disintegrates. But the tragedy doesn't stop there. Honeybees are not just honey producers, they are pollinators responsible for nearly 1/3 of all the food we eat. Every almond, apple, blueberry, and sunflower we rely on owes its existence to the humble honeybee. When colonies vanish, the ripple effect spreads through the food chain. After wildlife, farmers, and the global food supplies alike. Scientists and beekeepers have been sounding the alarm for more than 2 decades. Reports of collapsing colonies first made headlines in North America in the early of 2000s, and soon similar cases appeared in Europe, Asia, and beyond. In some regions, up to 60% of colonies were lost in a single winter. And despite advance in research, CCD remains one of the greatest mysteries and challenges in modern beekeeping. This silent crisis is more than an agricultural problem. It's an ecological warning. The disappearance of bees reflects a deeper imbalance in your environment, a signal that something fundamental in nature's design is breaking down. Understanding this crisis means looking beyond the hive. at the world we've built around it and the pressure we've placed upon it. When we talk about a colony collapse disorder, many people immediately point to pesticides as the main cause. And while pesticides do play a significant role, the truth is more complex. In Europe, where pesticides use is increasingly regulated, the impact on hive bee colonies is often far smaller than most imagine. In many cases, only 5 to 10% of foragers are affected, sometimes so slightly that beekeepers never even notice. But the story changed dramatically when the colony is no longer healthy. The real trigger behind many collapse events is an invisible one: Nosema. This microscopic parasite attacks the digestive system of adult bees, weakening their immune response and overall vitality. On its own, Nosema can stress a colony, but when combined with pesticides exposure, it becomes devastating. Here is why. Bees infected with Nosema become up to 6 to 10 times more sensitive to chemicals exposure. A dose that would normally cause a little harm to a healthy bee can suddenly become lethal. The symptoms in the first few days resemble to a classic poisoning: trembling, paralysis, and disorientation. Within just a few days, foragers began to die in large numbers, often before they can return to the hive. In severe infections, contact with neonicotinoids or other pesticides can wipe out 70 to 90% of the worker population almost overnight. And when Varroa mites enter the picture, the situation worsens even further. The mites drain the bees' fed bodies, weakening their immune system and transmitting dangerous viruses. A colony already burdened by Nosema and Varroa becomes critically vulnerable, and that's when collapse happens fastest. So, while pesticides are often blamed as the villain in most cases, they are only the final straw, the visible symptom of a deeper imbalance inside the hive. Healthy colonies, free from Nosema and Varroa, can withstand normal pesticides exposure far better than infected ones. They might lose a few workers here and there, perhaps 5%, an amount so small it blends into the natural turnover that happens every day. But add infection to the equation, and suddenly that same field treatment becomes catastrophic. After more than 2 decades of migratory beekeeping experience, we've seen this pattern repeat countless times. And while formal scientific research hasn't yet fully explored this interaction, the clues are there. When you piece together the studies on parasites, viruses, and chemical exposure, the picture becomes clear. Colony collapse disorder isn't caused by one single factor. It's the result of multiple stressors colliding, a fragile balance tipped over by disease, parasites, and human influence. Understanding this web of causes is the first step toward real solutions, because only by strengthening the bee's natural health can we protect them from the pressure of the modern world. If you're enjoying this video and want to keep learning more about modern beekeeping, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. And if you'd like to grow together with us, join our community. It's where we share insights, lessons, and real-world beekeeping experiences. You can also support the channel through Revolut or Wise. The QR codes are on the screen, and the links are in the video description below. Your support helps us keep bringing valuable information to beekeepers like you. Over the years, researchers and experienced beekeepers have come to a shared conclusion. Colony collapse disorder is not an unstoppable mystery, it's a chain reaction. And if we can break that chain, we can prevent most collapses before they ever begin. Recent studies and practical field experience both show that when colonies are kept strong, healthy, and well managed, CCD becomes extremely rare. It all starts with one simple principle: protect the bee's immune system. Every form of stress, from parasites to chemicals, chips away that natural defense. When the colony's immune is strong, even environmental challenges that once seemed deadly can be overcome. This is where strategic treatments becomes essential. For years, many beekeepers have turned to methods like oxalic acid dribbles, vaporization, or glycerin-based pads. While these can reduce mite population, not all forms are equal safe for the bees themselves. Treatments applied in liquid or soaked forms, especially oxalic acid with glycerin, have been shown both in research and real-world apiaries to weaken the bees' immune systems and, more importantly, to affect the queen's laying ability. In some cases, queens produced up to 60 to 70% fewer eggs after repeated exposure. When the queen's laying ability is damaged by such treatments, it doesn't recover either. Once her fertility declines, the colony will eventually require queen replacement, which often comes with major losses: reduced population strength, a lost honey season, or if the damage happens after autumn treatments, even the complete death of the colony over winter. That's why effective mite management is not about just killing Varroa. It's about doing it in a way that preserves the bee's vitality. Treatments should never harm the queen, never suppress brood rearing, and never compromise the colony's immune balance. The future lies in gentle, targeted solutions: organic acids used carefully in vapor form, natural essential oil blends, and mechanical methods that disrupt mites' reproduction without harming the bees. Meanwhile, researchers are also exploring new frontiers: breeding colonies with natural resistance to Varroa, enhancing bees' genetic tolerance, and studying how certain hygienic behaviors can be strengthened through selection. These are maybe promising direction, but real progress depends on balance. Strong genetics, smart treatments, and clean forage all work together. Beyond the hive, solutions are taking shape too. Organic farming practice, bee-friendly landscapes all help reduce external stress. But perhaps the most powerful change begins with awareness. Every gardener who plants native flowers, every farmer who reduces pesticide sprays, and every consumer who supports local beekeepers contribute to the recovery of pollinator populations. The fight against colony collapse disorder isn't about choosing between science and practice. It's about combining them. By applying treatments responsibly, breeding resilient bees, and protecting their environment, we can restore balance to the apiary and the world beyond it. The health of our bees is not just in the hands of researchers, it's in ours too. To truly understand what's at stake in the fight against colony collapse disorder, we have to look beyond the hive, out into the fields, orchards, and meadows that depend on the work of bees every single day. Bees are far more than honey producers. They are one of nature's most essential workers, quietly sustaining the balance of life on Earth. Around one-third of all the food we eat relies on pollination, and honeybees plays the leading role. Without their tireless work, much of what fills our plates would simply vanish. Apples, almonds, blueberries, clover, canola, nearly every fruit, nut, and seed we take for granted depends on a bee's flight. In economic terms, pollination services provided by bees are estimated to be worth hundreds of billions of dollars worldwide each year. But their true value goes far beyond money. Bees help maintain biodiversity, ensure the reproduction of wild plants, and sustain habitats for countless other species, from birds and butterflies to very crops that feed livestock. When bee populations decline, these delicate relationships between two unravel. Colony collapse disorder threatens to disrupt this entire web of life. When colonies die off, it's not just beekeepers who suffer. Farmers lose yields, ecosystems lose stability, and communities lose food security. In regions where bee numbers have fallen sharply, some crops already show dramatic declines in productivity. The disappearance of bees is more than an agricultural problem. It's an ecological warming signal, a sign that the balance between humanity and nature is breaking. But the danger is not irreversible. Around the world, more people are beginning to understand that protecting bees means protecting your own future. Every healthy colony, every thriving apiary, and every flower planted for pollinators contributes to restoring that balance. Bees remind us that life is built on connection, that what happens inside a single hive can echo across entire ecosystems. So, when we talk about saving bees, we are really talking about preserving the foundation of life itself, the rhythm of season, the abundance of our harvest, and the health of the planet we all share. The hum of the hive is the heartbeat of nature, and when it fades, the silence reaches far beyond the apiary. If you are enjoying this video and want to keep learning more about modern beekeeping, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. And if you'd like to grow together with us, join your community. It's where we share insights, lessons, and real-world beekeeping experience. You can also support the channel through Revolut or Wise. The QR codes are on the screen and all the links are in the video description below. Your support helps us keep bringing valuable information to beekeepers like you. If there's one lesson to take from everything we've seen, it's that the future of bees and of beekeeping depends on us. Every choice we make, from the way we manage our hives to the way we treat the land around them, shapes the world our bees live in. The good news is there's still time to turn things around. Each of us has the power to make a difference. Start small. Plant native flowers in your garden, along a fence line, or even in a city balcony box. These small patches of color become life-saving oases for pollinators searching for food. Support local beekeepers, the ones who care for their colonies with passion and responsibility. When you buy their honey, you're not just supporting a business, you're helping keep pollination alive in your region. If you're a farmer, consider sustainable practices that protect soil, water, and biodiversity. Reducing pesticides use and timing spray to avoid active foraging hours can make a world of difference. And if you're a policymaker, a student, or a simply concerned citizen. Raise your voice. Advocate for bee-friendly legislation, support research, and share awareness. The more people understand how vital bees truly are, the stronger your collective efforts becomes. Around the world, organizations and researchers are working tirelessly to safeguard pollinators. From genetic research on Varroa resistance to community projects that restore wildflower meadows. But they can't do it alone. Real change begins when all of us, beekeepers, farmers, and everyday people, decide to act together. The hum of the hive is more than just a sound, it's a symbol of balance, a reminder that everything in nature is connected. When bees thrive, life around them thrives too. Protecting them means protecting our food, our environment, and ultimately ourselves. So let's be the generation that brings the buzz back. Together we can restore what's been lost and ensure that the sound of a thriving hive never fades from our world. And if you want to learn more about practical, science-backed ways to keep your colonies healthy, don't miss my next video. Oxalic and formic acid, the Varroa solution you need. It's the next step in building stronger, more resilient bees. I am Oscar and this is the Intelligent Real World Beekeeping Journey. Until next time, keep buzzing.